Sentient. I'm still Sid, and in today's video, we're going to be discussing something that you may not be very familiar with, and that is exactly why I thought it was important that we talk about it. So, before we get into this video, you already know I'm going to need you to hit that subscribe button, por favor, and go ahead and click that bell so you're notified whenever a new video is released in time. Leave a like so we can put some respect on the YouTube algorithm. I would really appreciate it so much. Thank you. Now let's get into this video. All right. Clairaudience. What is it? Well, let's start by asking Merriam-Webster. All right, according to Merriam-Webster, it's defined as the power or faculty of hearing something not present to the ear, but regarded as having objective reality. So in layman's terms, this is psychic hearing, hearing things that are not there. No, this doesn't mean that the person is crazy. That means that they have a spiritual gift. Doesn't mean that they're not crazy. But we're talking about spiritual gifts. Okay, moving on. Okay, so clairaudience. This is something that is fairly new to me, and it is a psychic intuitive gift that I am only recently discovering that I have and how to use it. So for me, the way that I discovered that this was something that I had was that I started hearing like little tones in my ear. This is real similar to like back when you was in elementary school and they used to do those hearing tests in school with the little beep. And every time you hear the beep, you raise your hand like this. Yeah, that thing. So it started out like that. And then it progressed to a point where I would hear like my name being called and no one would be around calling my name. One time at work, I heard it while I was at the bar, cleaning, making drinks, whatever I was doing. And I swore that my managers was playing with me because they be playing. And I just looked over there to see, like, why are they calling me? Like, are they calling me? Who calling me? And nobody was calling me. Nobody was even paying no attention to me at all. So that's when I kind of started, looking sideways at this whole thing. And then there was an incident where I was walking through the Whole Foods by myself. Wasn't with nobody. And heard my name called again. Looking around like, who know me? Don't nobody know me in the Whole Foods. So the name calling is something that is frequent when it comes to the development of clairaudience, or at least the discovery of clairaudience. There's also been an occasion where during the tarot reading, as I was doing the reading, I suddenly heard like cheering in my ear, like a crowd, like yay, cheering or whatever. And I was like, oh, okay, word. Like didn't know what to make of it. I mean, I knew that this was something that other readers could do. Some of them can do this, but it's also on a much larger scale that some of these readers are able to do this, to where they're just like hearing direct messages like, tell her not to go to that Taco Bell no more. Stuff like that, So I haven't developed my clairaudience to that level yet, but I'm working on it. One other thing that's happened, which I didn't even relate to clairaudience until recently, mostly because it only happens here in my apartment, and usually when I'm lifted. Yeah, it's the only time that it happens. So, when I'm, lit, feeling myself or whatever, what I'm saying. You know what I'm saying. Like, don't make me say it. But, when I'm influenced, there's been more than one occasion where in my apartment, I have heard what sounds like a broadcast on a black and white TV. You remember those TVs that you like turn the knob on, like from back in the day, like your grandparents probably had in their house. So it will be like that kind of TV, and it will always be a news broadcast, but I have no idea like what's being said on the news broadcast. But I can just hear it like consistently. This has happened at least like 2 or 3 times. So I don't know if that's something that I should be paying attention to, something I need to be looking into, but it's something that I always hear. So yeah, that's another incident of clairaudience for me. But the thing is, I am not able to control it. And like I said, it's one of my underdeveloped psychic gifts. So, it's still a work in progress. Um, Hopefully one day I will be able to get to a point where I can speak to the spirit guides or source or my angels fluidly and on command versus just random sporadic hits of clairaudience. But to get to that point, I will have to develop it. So there are several ways that you can develop your clairaudience if you do have this. Of course, the first most obvious way is going to be meditation. The reason for this is that the higher you vibrate, the more open you are to spiritual gifts. If you are on a spiritual journey, you probably notice that as you progress and become more open, your spiritual gifts also get heightened. So, of course, this way obviously makes sense for developing your clairaudience. The next way is to do focused listening through music. So what this is when you are listening to songs, you're gonna wanna focus on like a certain beat, a certain instrument, a certain like series of notes that might repeat throughout the song. But try to focus on those specific things and then block out everything else. The more you focus your hearing in the physical world, the more your spiritual hearing will focus as well. You can also do the same thing in nature, focus listening in nature. So you hear some birds outside, focus on one bird. You hear, I don't know, leaves rustling, focus on only the rustling of the leaves. Don't focus on any animals or anything else that's going on in nature. These are always just like focus your listening so that you can hear more spiritually. The final way is going to be just asking, like, ask spirit, can y'all help me? I really want to be able to hear y'all better, so can y'all help me? Like, just ask. Just ask for it. Continue to ask. Set your intentions. I've even set my new moon intentions to be focusing more on contacting my spirit guides. Like, I want this. I'm thirsty for it. Like, this is really something that I'm really excited about. Unlike clairvoyance, this is not something that I've had my whole life, so it doesn't feel like second nature to me. But, I'm really excited about the growth, the learning process. But yeah, so basically that's all there is that I have for you today about clairaudience. If you are someone who has clairaudience, let me know in the comments below about your experience. Is this a new skill for you, or is this something that you've always had? And if so, how did you develop your clairaudience? All right. Well, let me know in the comments below. Thank you all so much for watching today. If you would like a personal reading or to follow me on any of my other social media, all that information will be linked in the description box below. And until I see y'all, love and light and everything right, and I'll see y'all in the next video. Bye.